everyone, it's Sharana from Pay or Wait, and today this is my little spoiler review. We're going to be talking about a little spoilers from the Netflix series On My Block Season 2. So excited. So let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. If you have not watched Season 2, I am talking about all spoilers, okay? We got to get into a lot of details, so I don't want to hear nobody mouth. So if you haven't watched it, go watch my spoiler-free review, then watch the season and come back to my review. So that's your disclaimer. You've been warned. So I don't want to hear nothing in my comment section talking about I spoiled something, okay? So, oh, and a quick reminder, we're going to be doing a live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, so we can talk about all the little details of On My Block Season 2. So, let's get into it, y'all. So, I'm so happy. I feel so free. I had to get comfortable, put my little onesie on. So, let's talk about who survived, okay? So we know at the end of season 1 that Latrell comes in, even though I still want to call him Coogee from The Shy, but Latrell, since we're talking about On My Block. So we see that Ruben and Olivia was shot, and so we find out at the beginning of season 2 that it is actually Ruben who was the one who actually survived the gunshot, and Olivia was the one who died. Even though Netflix kind of gave that away from the promotional materials, but I was just like, okay, I guess we'll just go with it. So we see that at the beginning of the episode that Monse is like putting the clothes on Caesar. His eyes all messed up, like he ain't got his ass beat. He got like a cast on his arm. So we later found out that because Caesar lied about not shooting Latrell, and because essentially because of that, Latrell came to seek revenge and shot Olivia and Ruben. He was basically kicked out of Santos. He got beat down, because like you gotta get beat up to get in, and then you get beat down. But like I guess he didn't die, so he was basically excommunicated. He's not a part of the gang anymore. Even Spooky not even talking to his brother, and I had real issues with that, but Spooky ended up redeeming himself. But I'm still mad at him, but you still fine as hell, okay? But we're gonna get into that a little bit later. So we see that because of this, Caesar is basically running for his life. He has nowhere to stay. He's been staying with his girlfriend Monse, but she messed it up because she was on FaceTime with her daddy, and then he come in talking about, hey, I think I burnt the cookies. And I'm like, cookies? His daddy, her daddy like, cook, who that? And then she hang up the phone. I was like, girl, what you hang up the phone for? That's not what you're supposed to do. Just play it off and say, hey, everybody's over. We're making cookies because we're trying to cheer Ruben. Like, you can't even lie good. I just don't understand. But she's only newly in high school, so I just want better for her going forward and how she can lie. So daddy laid down the law and said, get him out of my house. He can't stay here. And I'm just like, sorry, but you ain't really here. But I mean, I guess they have that bond where she really obeyed. And so basically, Caesar's been afraid to talk to Ruben and his family to basically apologize, because all of this kind of happened because of him. And so we see that it's New Year's Eve in the beginning, and they all spend it together, and then Caesar shows up, and the mom was just like, oh, hell no, you, don't come up in here. We're not messing with you. Bye-bye, good day. And so, you know, he starts feeling a certain type of way. He goes to try to beg forgiveness from his brother. His brother just like, I don't want anything to do with you as well. And so I feel bad for Caesar, because it's just like he's being punished, and I know that he feels that it's his fault, but he's been fighting so hard since season 1 to not follow the same path as Spooky. And so now he's kind of paying the consequences for making the right choice of not shooting Latrell. But because he doesn't, it has this horrible after effect of just one bad thing after another, after another, after another. And we got to get into this love triangle thing between him and Monse, because I have a lot of feelings about this, guys. And I want to know how you feel about this, because their relationship bothers me. Like, I want them together, but I know that they're teenagers too, so I have to like have a little slack for them. But so during the middle of the season, Monse decides, hey, I need a change of scenery. This is just way too much, all this crap that we're dealing with. And so she decides that she wants to go spend time with her mother, that she's now, they know that, hey, you, my mama that left me, I'm your daughter. Yes, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But so she makes this decision that she wants to get away for a while. So she wants to go spend time with her mother, get to know her mother a little bit more. And so they're at the dance, and then she tells Caesar, hey, like, I'm going to go stay with my mom, okay? And so he was just like, no, you got to choose between your mama and me. I said, Caesar, hold up, wait a minute, back it up real quick. First of all, Marseille dealt with your little trifling behind when you was talking to Olivia, okay? When you were dating her all up in her face, okay? And I don't want to hear nothing saying, well, she told them that they can go date. Just because she told them that they can go date doesn't mean that he was supposed to go and keep, like, start smashing Olivia and being all lovey-dovey in her face. I don't know how the hell she did that in season 1 because it couldn't have been me. It wouldn't have been me. But yeah, she dealt with that. Then my girl is sitting up here taking babysitting jobs, paying for your punk behind to go stay in a hostel, have a place to lay your head since you didn't want to sleep in a car. You didn't want to go sleep in the house. And I respect you for respecting her father's wishes. But I'm just like, my girl did too much for you, okay? And so for you to then, when she tells you that, and she says, hey, like, why are you making me choose between you or my mother? And then this fool had the audacity to say, you're just like your mother. Go ahead and leave. I said, sir, you know, I said, say it again. Say it one more time, because I want you to say it one more time. I was like, Caesar, you just can't get nothing right. Why would you say that to her? And he knew he messed up. I said, girl, tell him good riddance. Bye. Okay, thank you, next. Because I was just like, why would you say something like that to her? And as much as I'm trying to understand you're going through a lot, Caesar, you didn't have anything to do with, like, your parents. So, like, but I was just like, why? That made me so mad. I don't know if it angered you guys, but it really angered me. Had me feeling some type of way. But that's not even the worst, because Caesar kept messing up so much during the course of this season. And I know he was going through a lot. But then he's sitting up here basically, Marseille is ignoring him, rightfully so. He's been texting her, baby, please come back. I'm sorry, forgive me. I understand, spend time with your mom. And then he talking to this little scallywag at work. I don't even know what her name is, but he talking to her at work. And then she's sitting up here like, wait a minute, you did all of this? That's all you did? And she left you? Like, don't be wasting your time with her. I said, look, Caesar, don't listen to that little tramp, because she's trying to get you, okay? And then what happened? Caesar, a little dumb behind, ends up sleeping with her. So this causes a big rift. Once Marseille actually finds out, because she comes back and then she makes up with him. I love you too, girl. And then everything is fine and dandy until we get to the end. And then Caesar decides, hey, I need to go away. I don't want to cause any more issues for you guys. Like, I'm not coming back. And so Marseille comes last minute, like, I'm going with you. You my boo thing. I'm here with you forever and ever. He was like, no, I slept with someone. And I was like, this fool just can't do nothing right. And so she was mad, rightfully so. But yeah, it's something about their love triangle, like how Caesar keeps messing up, Marseille keep taking him back. Then she's like, no, I don't want to be with you. I got to go find myself. It just bothers me. Like, at some point, I'd be like, okay, well, technically y'all was on a break because you left him. But you try to get her back, and you send up her smashing people. And when she told her, when she was like, hey, well, even though you said you loved me when you did that, and if you loved me and you still did that, I don't know what else you would do. And I said, that was a word right there. And I felt her for that. So I don't know what's going to happen with their relationship. She seemed to be still mad. They didn't got kidnapped or taken off somewhere. We don't know what the heck is going on with them. But yeah, I had like a lot of issues with their relationship. So I'm sorry that I spent a lot of time talking about it, but it really did something to my spirit, and we had to just talk, okay? Just have a little chit chat about that. But going into Marseille, what I do appreciate in this season 2 is we actually get to explore her relationship with her and her mom. So they kind of started with it in season 1, and then they kind of just stopped, and I was like, okay, like, are we gonna go back to this? No? All right. So we know that she found her mom when they were doing their whole investigation for the money. We saw that when they went to Rose's house, that she walked past her and she had these 2 little kids in her arms and holding her hands. And so we see that she's been babysitting. She took up a job trying to babysit to really get to know her more before she actually tells her who she is. But actually her mom ends up giving her a job. She's saying she's trying to get research for a book that she's writing, and they meet at a little coffee shop. And so she eventually ends up telling her, hey, I am your mother. And so I thought it was really cool how Marseille handled the situation. I know for me, I probably would have been a lot angrier because I would have felt like, you know, my mother just left me and abandoned me. And so I love how we kind of get to see them bond as Marseille makes a decision, which is a hard decision because you're feeling like you're choosing between your 2 parents, and she loves her dad. But she wants to have a relationship with her mama. She wants to get to know her, which her dad was not having it. He had a lot of issues with it, but he let her go stay with her mother. And so we see that they're bonding. She's getting to know the kids. She looks different. Girl got her hair straightened. She got her some little white girlfriends and stuff with the little rich people with the coins and all of that. But we see that after she has this party that goes wrong, because Ruben and Jamal actually go to visit her, which is this whole crazy night that happens between her and her friends. But she starts to have a lot of anxiety because her mom asks her to, hey, you can stay here full time. Like, we would prefer that she did that. And she's trying to choose, like, does she go back to stay with her dad, with her friends, or does she kind of start this new life, this new chapter to kind of escape all of the craziness that is happening? And so we see that they're having a discussion, and it kind of comes up. Basically, she was just like, you know, like, why did you leave? You know, what was the whole purpose of you leaving? And I wanted to know what was going on with her that she decided to leave her daughter and never look back. And so we see that she was struggling with the fact that her daughter looks black because she's an Afro-Latina. And, you know, it was a colorism issue. And I thought it was so crazy when she asked her, you know, because it wasn't because of how I look, the color of my skin, why you left. And then I was just like, yo, so you really left your child because she was half black. And I just thought it was such a cool way to kind of explore this colorism, especially because we really don't talk about colorism within the Latinx community. We don't talk about how a lot of people are discriminated against just the darker color of their skin, how people kind of look down upon them even within their own community. And so I thought it was so genius how they kind of put all of that together. And I felt so bad for Monse because she was approaching this with such positivity. And then to find out that because of something that you personally couldn't control, that's why you left. And so she makes the decision to leave and she doesn't look back. And so one of the other things that I do want to talk about before I go into the other characters is especially surrounding her father and also to Jamal's father. I really appreciated how they showed these two men kind of coming together to both take Caesar in their home. We see that Caesar goes to live with Jamal for a couple of weeks until we see that one of the gangs, they discover that he's working at the shop and that they know that he's living there. So then he goes to stay with Monse's dad while she's away at her mother's house. And so I really thought it was so interesting to show these parents kind of step up and really help parent Caesar, who they know he doesn't have his parents in his life. He knows the situation with him and his brother. And so I thought it was a really cool thing for them to explore, and especially even with them being the black parents who really came to save the day for Caesar. So I thought that was really great to see. But we got to talk about my man Ruben, okay? We got to talk about Ruben real quick. Ruben survived, y'all. Ruben is alive. But he's going through a lot, you guys, and rightfully so. And so kind of throughout the course of the season, we see that Ruben is dealing with PTSD, and he's kind of going through these different stages of grief as he's not only, you know, questioning, like, why was I the only one to survive and Olivia was the one to be killed, especially after everything was going cool. Olivia was liking him. She was feeling him. I was like, you go, Ruben. You got everything you deserve. And then this happens. And so we see that he's going through a lot of different stages. We stick on the anger stage of grief for a long time as his mom is telling him, hey, come to church. He's just like, no, I don't believe in a God that will allow something like this to happen to me. And also, too, as he's kind of forming this kind of surrogate brother relationship that he has with Spooky, which bothered me because I was like, Spooky, don't be trying to like sit up here and help him out and you shunning your own little brother, got him sleeping on the streets and you acting like you don't even care. But I did like how Spooky realizes that he does have a part to play in what has happened to Ruben, and even as Ruben has lashed out at Spooky on more than one occasion, and I was like, Spooky ain't hit you yet. But as he's kind of lashing out against him and how he kind of helps him when he takes him to the party, which I thought was really funny, how he started organizing the party to make it better. Even with him with his little rap skills, I said, I see you, Ruben. But I love how he's kind of trying to figure out how to move forward. And even when things are starting to trigger him, as we see in the New Year's party, when the fireworks go off and he's starting to kind of have an episode because it's bringing them back to that night. And then also too at the dance, when they start playing the song that was playing when Latrell comes to shoot them, I thought it was very well done on how even showing the most subtle of things of him being around his family, being around his friends, how he still constantly reminded day after day of the things that he had to deal with. And one of the things that I loved about kind of his story arc through the course of the season is how he talks about how he wants to right the wrongs and how he wants to be more positive. And so he decides to be nice to Jasmine, who he's kind of mean to in the scene. I was just like, damn, like, why are you so rude to her? But I love the friendship that both of them bond. And can we talk about bond? And can we talk about that dance at the little school dance when they killed it, when they won that contest, had the little matching outfits and stuff? I said, I see y'all, I see what you were doing, and y'all killed that. And I love how Jasmine never gave up on him, how, you know, especially the scene, and that's really going into what I want to talk about next with Jasmine, but how she was always there for Ruben, how she kind of understood what he was going through. And as both of them are really grieving the loss of Olivia, just in different ways, because Jasmine had been through a little bit more. And so I really love to see, I love their relationship. I don't know, are there going to be more then? Because he like kissed her at the end, but I don't know if he was just excited. I don't know, maybe, but even with her trying to help him find like a girl to take to the dance, I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But I love Ruben's progression through the season, and also too having him bond with his brother, because they always spoke about his older brother at the beginning in the previous season, and we see him with that little girl, child, we're gonna get on that. But I love him even having that conversation with his brother when he tells him, I wanted to be just like you, and how his brother took for granted, like how you used to be so annoying, and then when I thought I almost lost you, how, you know, I really love you. And so I love watching moments like that, and people talking about their feelings and talking to their siblings about how they care with one another. I just thought that was so great to watch. But can we talk about Jasmine? Hey, Jasmine. Every time I see Jasmine on screen, I just have a smile on my face. She just warms my whole little cold heart up, okay? Makes me feel like I can feel emotions again, because she's just so fun to watch. And I loved her in this season, how even though we're talking about these heavy issues, that she really brings so much joy on screen. And then also too, how she's helping Ruben. And especially in one scene, we get to learn more about Jasmine as we see that her father was off at Afghanistan, and then he came back and he wasn't the same. And so how she was talking about how she went through the same things as Ruben, where you're just trying to be positive, trying to pray that, hey, like this is going to work. He's going to be talking. Everything's going to be good. And how she had to come to terms with the reality of her father's situation, and how she wasn't going to allow that to stop her, and how she was still her bubbly self, and nobody knew what was even happening to Jasmine. And I really hope that they write her into like kind of this inner circle with a group of friends, and even Jasmine trying to tell Monse like, hey girl, we could be friends too. And so I just loved her so much. Jasmine is my fave. Between Jasmine and Jamal, they just have me smiling and laughing this entire season, and I just loved her. But can we talk about, before I get into Jamal, can we talk about what's his name, Ruben's raggedy brother bringing his girl? First of all, because I just binged the first season, when she said the baby's gonna be White Tina, I just said, Lord, please grant me the strength to not come through that TV, okay? But we find out they having a little baby. He ain't even the baby daddy, y'all. The baby look black. I was like, girl, what was you doing? And then I was trying to really figure out, because he was talking about when his brother was cheating on her with, I guess, his old fling. He was like, oh, she got money. And I was like, okay, so why y'all at your mama house? Like, did her parents not approve? What is going on? I just like, she got all this money, and why you bringing all this mess to your mama house, having your mother stressed out? It just wasn't okay. But let's talk about Jamal. So Jimana got his coins, you guys. Nobody believed him. He was beefed out. He wasn't at the party, so he wasn't there for all of the craziness that happened. So now he is trying to figure out what the hell he's going to do with this money, how he's going to tell them. Then he tells them, they figure out how they're going to split stuff up. But I was like, sir, did you forget about Abuelita? Because then they tried to use her little business to clean the money so they can then divvy the money up and spend it. And Abuelita was like, hold up, sir. Who was sitting up here picking y'all little raggedy behinds up? Who was giving you all these clues? Who was helping you find this money, okay? So you guys are going to run me my coins. You're going to run me my half of the money. Then you're going to run me an extra percentage for helping clean your money at the same time. And I love watching Jamal and Abuelita together because she's so hilarious. Jamal is so extra. I just thought it was so... It was so cute. I just love watching both of them together, especially that scene when she starts getting carpal tunnel and then he takes her to this little doctor, this natural doctor, and then they beefed out for stuff that happened in the past. I was just like, you guys are just, you're just some joys to watch. I just love you guys so much. But I love how Jamal is kind of in his own little world. He might be weird, but he's good for just him. Even watching the craziness that happened of how he does not have boundaries when he was living with Caesar. And also to his relationship with his parents as he finally tells them like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I just love his storyline, and I love how he really doesn't get so caught up into the nitty-gritty of what's happening between everyone else, but he also makes sure that he's always there for them, especially for Ruben, and also trying to make this whole thing work to help Caesar be free. And so going back to Caesar and Spooky's relationship, so Spooky had me worried for a moment. I was like, hey, Zaddy, because you cute, okay? I know you're supposed to be bad, but you're still cute. But I was like, you really gonna let your brother live out on the streets and like potentially die? I was just like, sir, we really doing this right now? Like, this don't make no sense. And so I like had given up all hope, okay? Especially after they took their money. I said, y'all some good friends, because $150,000, y'all gonna give up all this damn money to help little Caesar, little can't do nothing right behind, get out of his mess. And I was just like, y'all some good friends. Like, for real, I need some friends like that, because the way Sally Mae on my back, I feel like I'm out running for my life right now with these bills. But we see that him and Caesar tricked all of us, actually came up with a plan to basically get rid of the profits and then basically get, you know, everyone off of Caesar's back so Spooky can have a relationship with him. And so one of the cool things that I do want to talk about in relation to Spooky's character that I love was the conversation between him and Ruben and how he talks about his frustrations, because everyone was like, hey, Spooky, you gotta get out of his life. You can do better. Spooky wanted to be a chef. He's like, why can't you just do that? He's just like, how do you do that when you have a record? You don't think that I tried to go get a job at Walmart and then they look at my record and they decide that they're not going to give me a job? And so I love how he has that conversation with Ruben, and he really addresses like people saying that, you know, there's not that many options for people when they get out of jail. It's hard to find a job. It's hard to find work. It's hard for people not to judge you for your past while you're trying to move forward. And so I do really appreciate them saying that, and even him coming around and coming up with a plan to help Caesar get out of all the trouble, which he eventually ends up doing, because they used the money that wasn't clean, that from the robbery that I guess the Santos had committed, and basically used that to give them, so the police would be on their scent and basically arrest them, which they ended up doing. But because of that, they will have to know that the Santos and Spooky was the one that set them up. So I don't know how it's going to play out, because we see at the end, we think that everything is fine and dandy. Everybody saved the day. And we see that after Monse is arguing with them, because she decides, I need my own group of friends. I don't want to be around all these little boys, because Jasmine had got in her head. And she decides like, hey, I'm done with you guys. I'm going to this boarding school, because her dad was just like, hey, I just don't feel like it's safe for you. And so she decides to leave. Good day. But as she's walking away, we see that these two black trucks pull up. They put bags over Ruben, Jamal, and Caesar's head. And then they eventually come and get her. So I don't know if that's the prophets. Was it some OG prophets that came into town, if they saw what happened? Was it the FBI maybe, because they know that more people are connected? Who knows? But I'm interested to find out. But I think that's pretty much everything I had to talk about. I'm trying to think. Let me look at my notes real quick. You know, I do appreciate the shade. I was here for all the shade that was given this season. And I really love the shade that Jasmine gave Monse when she told her that she always had ashy knees. She always got ashy knees or ankles and always some terrible split ends. I was just like, Jasmine, you're just a gem that we don't deserve. We just don't deserve you. But I really enjoyed this season. I really want to talk to you guys more about it. That's me trying to get like all of my thoughts that I could possibly think of that was happening throughout the course of the season. So hopefully, I'm sorry this review was so long, but I just had to get all of my stuff out. But please let me know in the comment section below, what did you think about On My Block Season 2? Please share with me in the comment section. I will make sure that I respond back to you guys. And please join me tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so we can have a little chit chat about On My Block, and let's just get our feelings off of our chest about some of this stuff. So as always, my name is Sharonda from Pay Your Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell, and I will see you soon.